Welcome back, adventurers. Today we're making the millet gruel from the Lord of the Rings Unofficial Cookbook. Let's get started. So to make this, I'm combining water, milk, and millet in a sauce pot over medium heat. We're going to bring this to a very, very light boil. Once it gets to that point, we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of honey, 1 tablespoon of cane sugar, 1 teaspoon of sea salt, and 1 tablespoon of ground cinnamon.
That's a lot of... Okay, so it wants me to add half of the cinnamon, but there's 2 tablespoons of ground cinnamon, and it wants me to top 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon on the millet. That is so much cinnamon. I'm going to ignore that. I'm going to put in the majority. So much cinnamon for garnish. Holy cow.
And we're going to simmer this for about 12 minutes.
We have 5 minutes left, and this is still so watery. Oh boy, I'm not optimistic. This does not seem promising. Okay. So, let's see where we're at. Oh, that is hard as rocks.
Yeah, immediately no.
No. This takes way longer than 10 minutes. Are you delusional? That is hard. 10 to 12 minutes until a nice mushy consistency. To who? Oh, it's stuck in my teeth. Oh my word. Cookbook lies. Look, I don't know how y'all are achieving a mushy consistency with your millet, but, folks, I'm gonna be so real with you. I cooked this for 27 minutes. And this millet is still rock hard. This serves 2, by the way. I'm just putting both servings in one container. So when I photograph it, it looks like it has more volume. I also don't have a wooden bowl that will photograph well. This is not great to serve, so I'm going to take a paper towel, I'm going to wet it down a little bit, squeeze off the excess. I'm just going to go around, I'm just going to wipe that off, and then I go in with the dry paper towel, I'm going to clean that up. And already that looks a million times better. And now it says that we sprinkle on the remaining tablespoon of cinnamon, but I already changed that. Sprinkle on this excess. This is so much cinnamon. Already I know this is not gonna be good. Top with a couple of fresh raspberries. I'm gonna take a couple photos and then we'll do a taste test. I will be right back. Let's try this, shall we? Oh boy. Ooh, oh no. Oh, it's so comfy. Oh no. Oh no. Oh. No. Right? Yeah. Okay, a couple thoughts. 1, the cooking instructions for the millet, way off. 2, I don't see the need to add cane sugar and honey. It was extremely sweet. And with how crunchy it was, and then how much cinnamon was in the millet, it was not a pleasant experience. What I would change, 1, I would probably soak the millet for about 20 minutes beforehand, and then I would cook this. This is still rock hard, and I cooked this for 27 minutes, which the recipe says to bring to a light boil, and then cook for 10 to 12 minutes. Cut the cinnamon in at least half. I would omit the cane sugar. I would cut the honey down to 1.5 tablespoons instead of 2 tablespoons. I would add vanilla powder. Add that instead. I don't even, did they even test this? Like who tested this? Tom Grimm. I have beef with this.
Now, I refused to end my night on a note like this, so we're making the Underdark Cellars version.
Let's see how this is doing. I think it's already softer. It's about as soft after it's soaked as it was after I cooked it, so.
So just like before, we're putting our millet, water, and milk into the sauce pot over medium heat.
Now we're gonna add in our salt, the majority of our 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, our vanilla powder, 1, 2.
I also decided to cook this with a lid similarly to how I would cook rice or barley or another grain that requires on lots of water being absorbed. I found that was a little dry, so I added about a 1/4 cup more of milk and about a 1/4 cup of half and half.
Oh, that's much better. Oh yeah, this is already much.
Serve this in a bowl of your choice. Make sure to clean up the edges, add cinnamon, clean up the edges again, and add some raspberries for garnish.
This is my version. Let me just take some photos and then we'll do a taste test. Attempt number 2 with edits, Underdark Cellars version. Oh yeah. It has a chew similar to barley. It's cooked. It's not nearly as crunchy. It's less artificially sweet, which is also really nice. Okay, do this, not the other one. Bye.
Now, my family's heritage does not come from a place that uses millet in everyday cuisine. So I am not used to cooking with millet. This was the first time that I used millet, which is why I think that editing in cookbooks is really important. When you pick up a recipe and it says, cook millet for 10 to 12 minutes until nice and fluffy and has a mushy consistency, I expect, as someone who has not used millet before, to cook my millet for 10 to 12 minutes and get a mushy consistency. It is often used in Asian and African cuisines, so I took some of my questions to that part of the internet, and I'm not about to appropriate cooking techniques, so I'm just going to give you a rundown of what I found. So this information specifically is from themilletstore. They recommend that you soak millet for about 6 to 12 hours. Some people prefer overnight soaking. They also recommend that you add more liquid than you think, and I found this to be true through the cooking process. I think I added another cup of milk during the cooking process. And then one other recommendation is, if this is a new food for you, and this is actually very wise advice going forward for any new food, is that you use one variety of millet at a time, especially because your stomach may not be used to this ingredient. I also looked into traditional African millet porridges, and I found 2 that looked really interesting that I would like to try. They use millet in 2 different ways. One is by Munduru Freda, the African girl. She uses millet flour to make her porridge. I did not catch what region specifically in Africa it is from, but it looked delicious. And then there's also Consuela's Kitchen, and she uses millet that she soaks for a little bit and then she blends to make her millet porridge, and that is Ghanaian specifically. So I will link these 3 channels and blogs here in the description. Please go give them some love. And yeah, I definitely recommend making this. A reminder, I am doing all things Lord of the Rings for August in anticipation of Rings of Power Season 2 being released on August 29th on Amazon Prime. So if you liked what you saw, smash that like button. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, drop those down below. I love to hear from you. Make sure you're subscribed or trying to grow the channel. Ring the bell for notifications so you know when new videos go live, and share this with someone you would like to make some millet porridge with. And take care of yourselves. Things are crazy right now. It's very hot. I just want to make sure that you're doing well and do something nice for someone else. Remember, you're always welcome at the Underdark Cellars table, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.